try to do 64 times 27. If I estimate it, so you can see that it is, as an estimate, this is approximately going to be, if I estimate it, my estimate is going to be maybe 60 into 30, and that will lead to an estimate of 1800. But now let's actually do the calculation. So when I do the actual calculation, so let's do it first in the long way. So this is going to be 64 multiplied by 20 plus 7, which will be equal to 64 multiplied by I'm using now the distributive law, plus 64 multiplied by 7. And when I multiply 64 by 20, I know how to do it. It's 1280. I know how to multiply 64 by 7. It turns out the answer is 448. And then when I sum them up, I can get an answer which is an 8. 8 fours are 12, 2 carry 1, 4 into 6 and 1, 7. So I get an answer which is 1728. But now I can mimic this calculation by doing a calculation right over here. So let's multiply 60. So let's multiply 64 by 27. So first I'm going to multiply by 20. So 20, so I'm going to think of 20 as 2 into 10. That's my first part. So when I think about 27, so this is the 20 that I'm thinking about, and I'm breaking it into 2 into 10. So I know I have to put a 0 for this 10. So this is the 0 that's going to shift. Then I multiply 64 by 2 and I get 128. So this is this answer that I get right over here. And now I'm going to think of it, excuse me, as a 7. So I can multiply this by 7, and this is the multiplication that I'm doing over here. 4 7s are 28, and I get 8, and I have 2 10s left over, and I have 6 10s times 4 is 42 10s, and then I have 44 10s because I had 2 10s extra, and then I'm going to add the 2 up, and I know how to add them. I get an 8, 8 4s are 12, 2, and you have 7, and the answer is 1728. So you can see that this is a way that we can do multiplication by a 2-digit number. So now let me summarize what we have learned up to now by doing various examples. So just think about it. For example, if I have to multiply maybe 500 by 30, so what I can do is, the quick way to do it is, I'm going to think of as multiplying 500 by 3. That's going to be 1500, and then I'm going to put in this 0 because it is just 3 10s, and this 0 is going to come in for that 10. This is just 3 into 10, right? So please also remember that, for example, if you are trying to multiply, let's say you want to multiply a number like 83 by 274, right? So this looks like a calculation that you're not familiar with because this looks like a 3-digit number that you're multiplying with. But you can use the commutative law and change it to a multiplication which is 274 times 83. And now you can use your old, the thing that we have learned, which is all that you do is you write this as 274 and you multiply it by 83. And then when you're going to multiply it, first you're going to think of this as multiplying by 80, and you know how to do it because 80 is really 8 10s. So you're really going to multiply by 10 and shift to the left by a 0. So you're going to start out by writing a 0 here, and 4 8s are 32. Then you're going to shift, and this shift is happening because this 0 is exactly the same as this 0, right? And then you're going to multiply, and then what you're going to do is you're going to multiply it by 3, and then you're going to think of this 83. You're going to ignore the 80 and just multiply by 3. So in the next line, you're going to write 4 3s are 12, and then you're just multiplying with this 3, and you will going to ignore the 80, and that is how you can do the multiplication. Okay, so hopefully it should all be clear, and you should be able to see how the distributive law, the commutative law, and the associative law are coming in to help you out.